The day began like any other, until I saw the envelope resting neatly on the kitchen counter. My name stretched across it in his unmistakable handwriting, bold and unmissable. At first, I thought it was nothing more than a note. Maybe he'd stepped out early for work or gone to visit his mother. But the moment I lifted it, a weight settled in my stomach. It was heavier than paper had any right to be. The stillness in the house pressed in around me, almost deafening, as if it carried its own voice. The little details stood out: the absence of his shoes by the door, the bed still unmade. Small signs, but together they screamed a warning. Standing there with the envelope trembling in my grasp, I knew this wasn't going to be good. It had the kind of finality that hangs in the air before a storm breaks. I opened it slowly, my fingers unsteady. At the top of the page were just 2 words, words that knocked the breath from my lungs. "Goodbye, Emma." The rest read like a confession, though not mine. His sentences flowed with unsettling calm, each one deliberate, cutting a little deeper than the last. He wrote that he had known for a while, ever since that night I came home smelling faintly of someone else's cologne. The night I claimed I'd been working late. He had noticed every phone call I took in another room, every unnecessary shower, every so-called girls' night that was anything but. He had seen through all of it. What broke me wasn't the fact that he knew. It was that he had never confronted me. He had waited for me to tell him. He had watched me drift away, becoming someone he couldn't recognize, until there was nothing left of the woman he once loved. He wrote that he didn't hate me. And somehow, that was the sharpest cut of all. If he had shouted, slammed doors, or cursed my name, I could have accepted it as punishment. But his words were steady, quiet, wounded yet controlled. He said he loved me enough to let me go, because staying would destroy us both. Right then, I understood, too late, that I had already destroyed everything. I sank to the floor, the letter shaking in my hands as sobs tore through me. It wasn't just guilt, it was the crushing weight of what I had done. My selfishness. My blindness to what truly mattered. I had traded something solid, irreplaceable, for something fleeting and hollow. He hadn't been just my partner. He was the man who folded my laundry when I forgot, rubbed my back when anxiety kept me awake, remembered exactly how I took my coffee, and kissed my forehead every night. I thought he didn't notice things. He noticed everything. And quietly, without ever complaining, I had taken that love for granted. Now I was living with the cost. I tried calling him, but his phone was off. I sent texts, emails. I even drove to his office, only to be told he had taken indefinite leave. That's when I realized this wasn't a decision made in haste. He had planned it, not out of anger, but out of heartbreak. He needed distance, from me, from the life we'd built. The days blurred together after that. I kept replaying the moments I'd overlooked, the way he lingered on my face at dinner, the nights he waited for me to speak, the mornings he asked, "Are you okay?" And I smiled and lied. I told myself he might come back. That maybe, with time, we could talk, fix things. But weeks passed. Then months. Eventually, I heard from friends that he'd moved to a small town to start over. He never spoke poorly of me. He simply told people it hadn't worked out, and left it there. I wrote him back one day, not with excuses, but with the only truth I had left. I was wrong. I loved him. I had destroyed something beautiful because I didn't know how to protect it. He never replied. I didn't expect him to. He had already said goodbye. That letter now sits folded in a drawer I never open. A quiet reminder of what real love is, attentive, patient, steady, and gone the moment you fail to cherish it.